Hey everybody, this is your girl Deborah Coco, and make sure you check out Just Give Me the Mic on all social media. Also, check us out on BronxNet Channel 16 on Sundays at 10 p.m. And soon we will be launching on MNN coming up in June, everybody. So stay tuned for that network information. Support. If you want to interview, make sure you hit me up on justgivemethemic12@gmail.com. You want us to come out and rep at one of your events, also hit me up for that as well. And love is love, everybody. See y'all soon. Support.
Peace and love, family. This is Elijah Bland, and you're tuned in to Just Give Me the Mic with the Queen, Deborah Coco.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Just Give Me the Mic show. I hope everyone is in good spirits. We have a great show for you today. My name is Deborah Coco. We have two amazing guests that are joining me today. Coming up first is Billy Mitchell, aka Mr. Apollo. He is here to share some of his experiences, let us know about his book, and to also, we're going to have a general talk about some history in Harlem and some other things that are going on at the Apollo Theater. And coming up after that, we have Elijah Bland coming up. He's our second guest. And he's going to talk about his career, and we're going to get a great performance coming up from him also, so stay tuned for that. And again, make sure you check us out on BronxNet, YouTube, all social media, and also on MNN. We're going to be coming up and launching in June, so make sure you check us out for that as
well. Put the needle on the record, baby, and let it go around slowly. I know we're meant to be together. Put the needle on the record, baby, and let it go around slowly. I know we're meant to be together, baby. And I would wait again if I had to, just as patiently. But for the record, I've got to say, baby, it's fitting in the groove so perfectly. I've had a lot of 45s, and I'm finished with that single life. And I wanna make enough love so that we know we belong on a record, baby. Let me play your favorite love song, and I don't mind if we repeat it. Now flip it to the B-side. You know I love the B-side. Oh, that's where it gets deep, baby. You know I love it when it's deep, baby. You know I said I'll never, 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 never leave you. And when I said it all, I meant it. And now we're right where we need to be, yeah. Oh, moments like these need to be documented. So that's why, for the record, I've got to say, baby, I just gotta say, it's fitting in the groove so perfectly. Yeah, I've had a lot of 45s, had a lot of 45s. Finished with that single life, finished with the single life. I wanna make enough love, I wanna make enough love. We can take our time and do it right. I wanna show you how I feel. Baby, it's so real. say it feels good like ooh. I had a lot of 45s and I'm finished with that single life, and I wanna make enough love so that we know we belong on the record. For the record, I just gotta say it feels good like ooh. I had a lot of 45s and I'm finished with that single life, and I wanna make enough love so that we know we belong on the record, baby. We know we belong on the record, baby.
Hey everybody, we are back and I hope you enjoyed our first segment. But coming up next, we have Elijah Bland in the building. Hi, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining me. I mean, we met a little bit. Matter of fact, we met on the set of PTSD, right?
right.
We're going to jump
right.
off and we're going to give a big shout out
Absolutely.
to Monet for connecting us
Yes.
together, you
Yes.
know, right? We'll get into what PTSD is, that project, in a couple of minutes. But in our conversation, you told me you play, different instruments, you're a musician, you sing, and, now you're acting. You have all these different things going on right now. So I said, we must sit down and have a chat and go over, discuss what's happening with you.
Thank you.
All this movement, how are you feeling about everything that's going on?
I'm just making it happen, whatever it takes. Yeah.
But I know originally you started out in music, right?
Yes.
That's your first
Yes.
love. So give us a little background on that.
Well, I started playing piano when I was about 5.
Wow.
There was actually with the house I grew up in. When we moved there was a piano that the previous owners left in the basement.
Wow.
And
Nice.
Small house in Jersey. I grew up in Hackensack, New Jersey. My mom's actually from the Bronx, so close connection to the Bronx.
Oh, nice.
But the piano was there. Nobody in my family played. It was just there, and I was always kind of interested and intrigued. And so I started messing around with little stuff and play, Mary Had a Little Lamb,
Right.
little stuff like
The little
that.
simple things, right?
But I remember the first song I really committed to learning how to play was Lean on Me, and I was like my, simple, pretty straightforward song, but it had some soul to it. And I said, I'm gonna get this. So I started with just one note at a time and started playing some chords, and then I would never want my parents to be down there when I was like in my zone.
That was your private thing.
Yeah, I said, well, wait, it's not ready for you to hear it yet. It's not ready yet. Wait. And they're like, you're 5. What are you talking about? Like,
Right.
So
You're making a whole production out of this.
Right. And so then I invited them down. It was like, the family come over for the holidays or something, and then, I would play, and people were like, okay.
You taught
You
yourself.
got a little self-taught. And then I was 12 and decided, my parents, introduced me, well, maybe you take some piano lessons. At that point, I've been playing my own little stuff, and at 12 years old, then you think you know everything.
Right.
So,
You've been playing for 5.
like,
You've been playing for like 7 years at that point. Right.
So I go there and I start from the basics again, and I'm like immediately bored.
Okay.
I don't want to do this.
Taking me back to the beginning. I've been doing
It
this for
took
7
me
years already,
3
right?
weeks or so. I didn't want to do it. One of the greatest regrets of my life. Like, 'cause, I mean, the organized instruction of it gives you a foundation
Yes.
that I wish I had earlier. I later on minored in music in college, so kind of tried to catch up,
But you don't know that at 12.
Of course not.
Yeah,
At
you
12,
don't,
I'm
you
like,
don't have any idea. Yeah.
So then it was all sports from that point on. So
Okay.
that was like, I went, I was always, student athlete, played college basketball, I did well there. Injuries kind of curtailed that.
Okay.
And then in college, I got into writing and production with one of my teammates.
Oh.
He was...
It was like a little side hobby for you at that point, or?
Yeah. He actually took this photo, matter of fact.
Oh, he did.
He's an
He's
amazing photographer
now.
now.
Okay. It's nice how
Yeah.
you can shift it to many different lanes, right?
Chike photography. He was a senior. I was a freshman.
Uh-huh.
And we played the same position. He would kick my butt in practice every day. And then we'd go back to his dorm room and work on some music. He didn't really play anything at the time. Now he's
Okay.
an amazing guitarist, but I would help him with keyboard parts and different things like that. So then he introduced me to some music technology, little recording system, things like that. I started doing my own little stuff, started working with some local artists and production and songwriting. Never wanted to be in the spotlight.
No?
Ever. I was like, I'm just staying behind the scenes. I want to write, produce. And one of the engineers we were working with at the time said, you know, some of these demos you're doing for the songs you're writing
Sound really
sound
good.
better than the artists you're doing them for.
Oh,
And
no.
I was like, well, I never
But
thought
that
about
happens,
singing.
though,
It did.
for some, right?
So I said, well, he said, look, just come in. At this time, I'm in college. I'm like, I don't have money for
Right, you
studio
playing
time and all
sports,
that.
you got
I'm
all these
playing-
other things
he
going
said,
on,
look,
too.
just come in for a couple hours. I'm not going to charge you for the time. Just see what happens. So I
He
recorded
heard
a couple
something.
songs.
He definitely did.
Recorded a couple songs, and I said, well, let's see what happens. And I'm grateful for the fearlessness of youth.
Good.
To know nothing about anything and just
Right.
just go do it.
Just
Just go
trying
for
it,
it.
right.
And
I mean, what
yeah.
could happen? Either you can
Yeah.
do it or you can't. It's one or the other. And you're still going to live on,
Right.
still going to make it, right? It
Right.
doesn't,
Right.
but
Right.
I used to be very shy, so I understand that. It's
Absolutely.
like I kind of put myself in the box not to do certain things until I got to the point, like, what am I scared of?
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? What is
Right.
failure?
Right.
You can always do things better. You can always
Exactly.
make, so
Exactly.
you're right.
So,
That's
yeah.
you're
From there, I
fearless.
mean, for lack of a better word, discovered my own voice and started to
So
just
you
grow from
never
there.
sang before until, like,
Not really.
like in front of people, like you wanted to do it until you got
Not
into
really.
college?
In high school, once we went to on a school trip to the Jgtmtv Center. Now it's Circle of Sisters now.
Oh, yeah.
But at the
love
time
that
it was
event.
the Black Expo.
Right, they just switched that over.
And there was WBLS had a booth, a karaoke booth. And a friend of mine from childhood friend of mine, we went and sang I'll Be There. The Jackson 5's I'll Be There. Never really sang in public, never did any. When I was a
That's
child.
something to start off with, right?
Yeah,
The
but when
Jacksons.
I was a child, I would do little plays and stuff in school. But then, puberty changed all that.
Yeah,
so my
yeah.
voice was not the same.
Yeah.
Not everybody has that Michael Jackson transition where
Right.
you just stay there. So I sang I'll Be There and just,
That's not easy.
no, but it was like, where did that come from?
Right.
And everybody was like, I didn't know you could sing. I said, I didn't either. So,
You had the feeling that day, right?
yeah, and then I guess that was just in my back pocket because I went then to play ball in college and there was no singing or anything like that. But then that kind of just started little by little.
Uh-huh.
And I decided to work on an album and
Wow.
produced and wrote and recorded everything myself. It was called Just
So
Me.
how did that come about, though? I know, like you said, you went into sports. Where did something trigger that for you to make you be like, I really want to try this music lane? Like,
Well, music
was it something in particular that brought that out?
was always a passion. It was
Okay.
always something that I did. I was always playing piano whenever I could. If I was around a piano or picking up other things, I ended up picking up a little guitar, playing little things. And then after college,
Mm-hmm.
I decided to I got a degree in computer science and
Okay.
decided toward the end of college that I did not want to sit and program for the rest of my life.
I got a computer science degree, too, and I decided the same thing. What am I?
And I felt like, well, I don't want to do that.
Right.
So I minored in music, and I ended up getting a job working at a music store, selling music equipment. And I learned a lot there about, different gear and from people who had been around the industry.
Yeah, when they come in and ask you certain questions about these
Yeah, and
instruments,
I
you
had
have
to
to
learn
know.
quick.
Right.
And at the time, this was in North Jersey, right around this area where everybody was living. And I mean, it was everybody from Eddie F to DJ Clue to Rev Run.
Oh,
to,
wow.
First time I met Ray Chu was in the store in Guitar Center. I had no idea who he was.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I always knew his name. I knew, of course, I've never been that close to him to know who he was.
Oh, wow, okay.
We're talking about speakers for a good 20 minutes. And he got a phone call. And he said, excuse me for a second. So he goes and gets the phone call. He said, yeah, man. I don't know. Well, listen, tell Stevie this is the last change we're going to make.
Like, who?
Listen, whatever he wants. Okay, cool. And then I'm thinking, Stevie?
Right.
I don't know many people that just go by the name Stevie other
Right.
than Wonder, right?
Right, right.
Then I look, he has a Grammys hat on, and I'm like,
What's your name
Okay.
again? Right.
Never knew. We've been talking for so long. I just talking about. I said, "Oh, by the way, I'm sorry, I'm Elijah." He said, "Oh yeah, I'm Ray Chu." I said,
Oh.
"Oh,
Nice to meet you.
nice to meet you, Mr. Chu."
Right. Awesome.
And
See
a
how that
great
just
bond
felt.
since. Recently I was pulled up at a light next to him recently, and we,
Wow.
just a really, really good brother. And
Great.
he's just done amazing things with
No,
music.
no, he's definitely awesome and
So-
within the business. Like his name carries a whole lot of weight.
I mean,
so
yeah, right.
that's that opportunity was definitely
Yeah.
a once in a, not to say once in a lifetime,
Yeah.
but that was very important, for you.
But it's what's funny is talking about the piano lessons and organized instruction, how that came back to bite me. The conversation, one of the most powerful conversations I've had was with him.
I can imagine.
He invited me to come to his studio and basically was very brutally honest and said, "Well, what do you think I can do to help you, or what can you, and how can we work together?"
Right.
And basically at the time, I was really just trying to find what I was doing. And reading music is like the number one thing for musicians that
Yes.
work with people like him.
Yes.
Because it's just, you show up, that's it. And that was something I was lacking until later, that I had to catch up and learn. And it's harder to learn
It
as
is,
you're
right?
an adult.
Yes, I was about to say.
12 years old, it was right there. I said, I don't want to do that. So that was something that really made me check myself, where it's like you never know when an opportunity is going to come.
Exactly.
And that was something that I was there and was honest about, and we had a really great conversation about it. Like, I'm not even ready to do anything with this
I
relationship.
have to go back,
can't
right?
even-
I come back next year.
I'm
you
like,
know?
I'm sitting here with Ray Chu and I can't even do anything with it.
But you know what? I think that's an important point that you brought up, because let's just talk about the world of DJing. People think they can just get a computer, laptop, download a program, and be able to be the next, DJ Clue, like you said. It don't work like that.
You need
you
to
still have
learn
to go to
your
school. You
craft.
still need to know the fundamentals. So I think that's a very
Absolutely.
important point. We all think we know everything, and then, like you said, that opportunity comes to have that conversation. What am I? I'm not even sure. I thought I knew.
Great lesson.
Right? I thought I knew, but I really
Right,
don't know.
right.
Can I call you later?
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. It's a
So,
great lesson. So
yeah.
I think I've really enjoyed, and I heard you say earlier, talking about the process and how
Yes.
that's you have to enjoy the process.
Enjoy
and
the
I
process and the journey and everything that you have to. If you really want something bad enough, you should want to know. You should want to learn everything
Absolutely.
that's involved with it. Like for yourself being an artist, but now you also have the songwriting ability. You also have all the other elements,
Right.
not just singing and just getting in front of a mic and doing your thing. You can write a song. You know what works, what doesn't work,
Right.
and so you got
Right,
the
right.
real feel of what you're doing. You know, so I think that's important too.
Absolutely.
You didn't start out as the person in the forefront, right?
It just-
But
no,
look at
right,
you
it
now.
just happened, right.
Right,
Yeah.
it just happened. So I seen you play the guitar, like you said, the piano.
Yeah.
Like, you just trying your hats to see what works for you, and you're feeling your way through it. So now you got this release, you did the release, right?
Thank you so much. My name is Elijah Bland. Thank you.
And
So I did that. That was a kind of underground project and introduced me to the indie soul community, which
Right.
in New York was really heavy at the time and still is. And then from that, I ended up collaborating with some artists in that world. And
what led you
came
to
up-
the indie? Like to the, because when I saw your
That's a great
music,
question.
I thought of Maxwell, you know, Prince, you know, the music I like, that's soulful, like, you know, get
Thank
into
you.
your bones. I
Thank
love
you.
it when I saw your video
Wow.
online with the band. Like, that's real R&B, which a lot of us are missing from seeing today. You don't really see that, you
Thank
know?
you.
So I just feel like what led you into that lane versus, you know, any other lane of genre music you could have went into?
Well, first and foremost, money,
Okay.
or the lack thereof, I should
Okay.
say. So, as an independent artist, everything is self-funded, everything is self-made, and I wasn't in a position where there was an opportunity with a major label, and
Oh,
you know,
okay.
then you get that discussion, and at that point was when I realized that this industry is not exactly what I thought it was.
Okay.
Where I'm doing all the work and you're owning
That's not gonna
85,
work.
90, 95% of what I'm
Exactly.
getting.
That doesn't
That
work.
doesn't make sense to me.
No.
So the indie soul community was something that I just, you know, I ended up, got some traction. People heard it, liked it.
Mm-hmm.
I did another album, which ended up really getting the music to another level nationally.
Okay, great.
The album was called Soul Centric. So I collaborated with some different people. I had a song called Talk to Me that Michael Baisden ended up playing on his show.
Nice, nice.
So that was my first time on national radio.
Wow.
And I get a call one time. I'm working in a music store at this time still.
Yeah.
Put my little project out, you know, doing whatever, but I'm working.
Mm-hmm.
Get a call one day and they said, well, this is so-and-so from the Michael Baisden show, and we're, you know, going to be putting your song in rotation, and
Like, what?
we're going to be contacting you soon about an interview on the B-side, which was a segment he did for independent artists.
Nice.
Eric
Very
Roberson,
nice.
Legacy, everything. I'm like,
Right? Seriously?
Yeah, okay, thanks. We'll be in touch. Okay, great. I'm like, okay, whatever. My song's on the radio, right. So I get a text message one day, hey man, I just heard your song on the radio. I'm like, that's nice. They're probably somebody that they thought sounded like me.
Right,
It wasn't that. Moments later, there's 20, 30, 40 text messages of people that are hearing this on
Isn't that awesome?
the radio. And I'm like, what?
It's really playing.
That was, yeah, and then that, Michael Baisden with that iconic voice of
Right.
Elijah Bland on the Michael Baisden show and all that. I heard
Oh
that.
my
I'm like,
gosh.
whoa.
That is
okay.
awesome.
So that was another level of, introducing it to another audience, and it's just been a blessing of a journey. I think
It sounds like it.
I don't ever take the credit for putting this together. As much as I've produced and written and recorded my own music and do all these things, I have been extremely blessed to even be able to do any of it.
Yes.
I mean, it's
And now
amazing.
you have this other element of acting now. Now, how did that come about? Because that's how we met. How did the acting come into play?
I'm born and raised in this area. I left New York briefly and came back in 2014, and I was connected to some people in the acting world, some theater, some screen. I'd never done any serious acting.
Okay.
But I had an affinity for it. I felt like, I've always done like voice impressions and things like that, but it wasn't anything I took seriously. And a friend of mine had a short play they were doing, and it was like a short play festival, and they needed someone last minute, and they said, well, can you do this? I'm like,
Okay.
I always thought, say yes and figure it out.
Yeah, right.
So,
Work on the rest later.
yeah,
Right.
well, of course I can. Nervous as anything. I was like, I've never done this before. Read a script, memorize lines, all this. I immediately felt something like what I felt when I first started with music.
Oh.
And I said, this is something I really want to take seriously.
Okay.
But I didn't know how. I didn't know anybody that was
Could
really
coach you
doing
or
it that
kinda-
could. I'm like, I just felt so removed from it. But it was
Okay.
just one step at a time, doing little projects. Did a little play, did a little
Right.
short film, and
You had
here
a
and
web
there.
series or something
Web
too,
series
right?
is two. So there's a web series I'm doing called Curvy Girls Rock, which is amazing, and
that's on YouTube.
it's coming this year. It's coming out this year.
Okay.
There's a teaser out now, but it's coming this year, and it's
Okay, so look
amazing.
out for that. That'll
Yeah.
be coming out,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. But it's just something that I decided to really take seriously and train and work with some people who are credible to again learn my craft.
Right.
You know.
Want to
and-
learn from people who's doing the same thing and has
Yeah.
the kind of energy and direction that you have, you
Right.
know? So how was the PTSD experience? I mentioned that earlier when we started off the interview, but how was that? Because you had like the leading role
Yeah.
in that. You was one of the lead actors in that.
Yeah.
And I've seen you go through for a lot of different scenes and ranges, and you had to really
Yeah.
dig deep for that. So how was that
It was
experience for
intense.
you? It was, right?
intense. I think the part with me, I was really fortunate to even be in a position to do it. And when Monet approached me about it, I said, well, absolutely, whatever let's do it.
Right.
And the role is really intense internally because this guy is.
Yes, I was about to say, tell us a little bit about
I play
your character.
a guy named
without giving it
Alberto.
away.
Alberto he's a military man, comes from a family of musicians. He's really gifted musically. That's always been his safe haven. Between that and cigarettes, that's his way to cope.
Right.
So, and I don't smoke, so I'm like, okay, let's learn that too, I guess, right?
Right.
But taking that journey with him is he's the one that's always in his family, his friends. He's always kept things together.
Right.
He's the guy that everybody comes to for help, for advice, for a good time, for entertainment, whatever it is. And he's the
glue,
one
so
that's
to
he's the
speak.
glue, but he's gone through. His mother was doing all kinds of crazy stuff
Right.
as a child. He's been through some stuff.
Right,
He's
and he
experienced-
was going through some stuff on his
Currently.
own. Right.
right.
So,
And so that internal process of dealing with that, and the title of the project, Diagnosis PTSD, is really a serious thing that people don't address enough. I mean, mental health overall, we're talking about that a lot now, but
And what is it? It's post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yep.
That's what the acronym stands for.
So I mean, fortunately, I've known some people who have been through that firsthand and been in that exact situation, in that exact war at that time, and was able to really kind of tap into what I know about their experience.
Okay.
So
you had some people that you can sort of some reference.
Get that right. To get what's real about this, and really for me, to know, again, with any character, it's finding me in it and finding the reality in it.
Right.
It was a lot
bringing
of
the
fun.
reality to it as well. So yeah, it's like the give and take of both. So I thought outside looking in, I was like, okay, I didn't know if you've ever done any other like serious roles like that before. So I was like, okay, he's really good. He's really into it. I saw like your dedication, your mindset, and how you really put yourself into those scenes. So that was good. That was a good experience. Look out for that. That should be coming out hopefully end of the year, maybe?
I think so. Later
you have
this year.
a time frame? Later this year. That should be coming out. So there's also a group page, PTSD, right? PTSD.
Yeah, I think they're going to be putting out some.
It's going to be some more information coming out. Now also, hopefully we'll be able to have the whole cast come through and later on when everything's finished and we can talk about it and get everybody's experience. But shout out to everyone involved. And again, Monet Sharice is her last name?
Yeah.
Shout out to her for putting that together. Great project.
Absolutely.
You know, and I have a little scene in there too that was a lot of fun as well. Yeah. So I can't wait to see how it all comes to play.
Absolutely.
So what's up now for Elijah Bland? What's happening right now? What can we look forward to seeing? I know we're going to get a nice performance soon tonight on the show, but what else is coming up for you, like in your near future? What you want to work on?
New music. I'm finally working on some new music. I took some time to. I put out a couple singles over the last few years, and the one I'm going to be performing has done pretty well, and I'm happy about that. It's been a while because I wanted to step back and let life happen.
Right.
And I heard something about Sade recently where people are like, why is it like 10 years since she put out some music? And she said, I don't have to do anything.
Right.
I write and perform and release music when I have something to say.
Right. If you're not under some company contract where you got to release 5 albums within 3 years, why rush the process?
And that's the beauty of being independent.
Right. That is some of the beauty.
Now
one
on
of
the flip side,
things.
there's the whole, staying relevant and attraction and this day and age, even from when I started, it's a totally different music industry.
I agree.
Everything is right now.
Right.
And it lasts for 2 seconds and okay, what's next?
Right.
And so to put a whole album out independently is not an easy feat. So
no, it's not.
I told myself I'm not going to do this again until I do it the way I really want to do it. And
because you are responsible for your own marketing, your promotions, your sales, your production. Everything, and that's not easy unless you have some type of team that's working with you on. So you should take your time.
Yeah. But it's been. I mean, I've been very fortunate to build some relationships and learn a lot. And I think at this point in my life, I'm a husband, I'm a father. I have a 15-month-old that's looking up to me as what is manhood? What is this? What is this life about?
Right. And he has his own career. This little man has his own career.
Dude,
I see him on Instagram, modeling here, there, and everywhere. So you need to take time with your project. Because little man at 15 months has his own career.
He's killing it. He's made more money in his first 15 months of life than I did probably my first 15 years of life.
Isn't that something? Isn't that something? And I mean, you got to enjoy that as well. That's a whole other thing. A lot of parents quit their jobs and dedicate their whole lives to that.
My wife is, she's a superhero. She's an artist as well. She's a mom. She's a wife. She's in marketing. She does all kinds. She's everything. And she's a momager and does everything with his
Isn't that
career,
incredible? That is incredible.
So,
He's managed by a whole company now.
This
is incredible. Follow the journey. Matter of fact, give them
Jace Amari. Jace Amari. Jaceamari. That is my son, Jace Amari.
And what is your social media as well? I don't want to end the interview and forget to give yours as well.
Elijah Bland, ElijahBland on Instagram, Twitter. On Facebook, it's Mr. Elijah Bland, Mr. Elijah Bland, and ElijahBland.com is everything.
All right. So what is your personal feel of where you're at right now in life, music, what do you want your fans that are following you to really know about you right now, where you're at?
That's a great question. I'm a passionate person. So everything I do, I want to do with passion, with purpose, faith, and love. And I think as long as I'm genuinely putting all of those things into everything I do, I want people to feel those things and get something from whatever I'm doing, whether it's acting, music, producing something, directing something. I'm trying to work on other projects, and I feel like I'm just a vessel. You know, I'm another artist playing my part, doing my thing, and there's so many artists that are so underappreciated and they go unrecognized. You know, but to be able to sit here and have a platform, like, I mean, I really appreciate this as, you know, just to be able to share my little piece of the world, you know.
That's what it's about.
And follow a New York and Apollo Theater legend and Billy Mitchell. I mean, I don't even belong on this show right
and
now,
look how it felt.
is-
No, yeah, of course. Look how it all
Seriously.
felt together.
Unbelievable.
Common interests, common goals, and common personalities, you know, in the sense that we're doing things that we love. And you can see the joy and the happiness, right? When you see people that are doing things that they love in life, motivating people, inspiring people through stories, through words, I just enjoy those type of connections. Positive energy, positive vibes. But we're going to end the interview here. I just want to thank you for joining me because I'm
Thank you,
excited
sis.
to see this
Appreciate it.
performance, right, that's coming up. So make sure, again, you follow him on social media. And we're going to get right into this performance. You ready? All right, y'all. We'll be right back in the live anywhere. He's about to be entertained, y'all. We'll be right back.
Put the needle on the record, baby, and let it go around slowly. I know we're meant to be together, baby, and I would wait again if I had to, just as patiently. But for the record, I just got to say, baby, fitting in the groove so perfectly. I've had a lot of 45s. I'm finished with the single life. I want to make enough love so that we know we belong on a record, baby. Let me play your favorite love song. I don't mind if we repeat it. Now flip it to the B-side. You know I love the B-side. Oh, that's where it gets deep, baby. You know I love it when it's deep, baby. You know I said I'll never, 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 never leave you. And when I said it all, I meant it. And now we're right where we need to be, yeah. Oh, moments like these need to be documented. So that's why, for the record, I just gotta say, baby, I just gotta say to you, it's fitting in the groove so perfectly. Yeah, I had a lot of 45s. I'm finished with that single life. I wanna make enough love so that we know we belong. Take our time. We can take our time. Do it right. I wanna show you how I feel. Baby, it's so real. We can make it last. Put it on wax. Baby, I wanna make say it feels good like a I've had a lot of 45s and I'm a single life and I'm thinking of love so that we know we I wanna make enough love, enough love. I wanna make enough love, enough love, and we know we belong. I'm finished with the single life, and I wanna make enough love so that we belong. I want you to say Lijahbland. Say it. I want you to just say it for me. I want you to spell it all the way out for me. Say it. Lijahbland. Say it. So that we know we belong on the record, baby.